Hey everybody, Master Sean here, or I should say soon to be Master Sean. I will get that accolade on October 29th. I'm very excited about just 2 days before Halloween. And speaking of Halloween, look what I got here. TMNT Halloween comic. I'm super excited. It's my first comic review, so welcome. Here we go. So comic review, TMNT Plus, Master Sean, all of you. Let's go. Review of the Halloween special. Now, I'm going to be honest, I really didn't get into reading the TMNT comics up until recently. Surprise, right? A little weird, but most of my interaction with them over the years has been through media, the cartoon back in the 80s and the movies and the new cartoons, then the new animated movie, and then the new movies and the new cartoons, etc. But I eventually kept seeing stuff for this thing right here. And I was like, man, let me read that. And I did, and I really liked it. And so I can't wait for the last Ronin last year's coming out next month or in a few weeks from the date of this video, like November 8th or so. I've already pre-ordered. I can't wait to get it. So anyways, last Ronin, we're going to talk about that coming up because 4 new turtles are being introduced. So, but then I liked that so much, I ended up getting this series. Okay, let's not drop my sword. Here, the new IDW, and I've been reading that. I'm on volume 4. I know I'm like a few years behind. I really wish I would have picked it up sooner, but I'm glad I didn't because I get to read like all of these books now, and it's going to take me a minute to catch up to where they are at. I think they're on 146. Number 150 is coming up. And the lady, I forget her name off the top of my head, who's been writing that, and over the last few years, that's going to be her last volume, number 50. But the cool part was I got this for my son years ago at a street fair, and didn't realize that I had the episode or volume 1 for this series until I started reading, and I saw Hobbs with the turtle in his mouth. I was like, wait a minute. I recognize that's why I went and pulled this. I was like, oh man, I've had this for a while. It's a little damaged, but still in great shape. So it's awesome to know we had volume 1 of that. Got the last Ronin. But anyways, this video ain't about that. The video's about this and the Halloween special, which I really enjoyed. Okay, and you like my shirt? I'm gonna give a shameless plug. My own karate school store right here. Right, I saw. I conquered, right? Anyways, gotta get some more TMNT stuff for these videos. But here we go. Saturday morning cartoon adventures Halloween special. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. The one thing I was surprised though picking it up was that comics are like $7. Like wow, that was a little bit more than I thought it would be. But either way, I eventually also picked up this one, the Usagi. Volume 1, but we'll talk about that later. Here we go. So Saturday morning adventures, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Halloween. I enjoyed it. Kicks off with them in the lair, and a spoiler alert. So if you don't want to have this spoiled, haven't read it yet, I wouldn't go any further. Maybe go read it, come back and see if our thoughts are alike, and share your thoughts in the comments. But here we go. I enjoyed the art for one because, Saturday morning cartoons. I grew up with the Saturday morning cartoons, really loved watching them every Saturday morning, and having that art style was fun. So as I went through it, I'm not going to lie, I kind of heard their Saturday morning cartoon voices in my head as I read through it. But it kind of really stayed true to the cartoon. It had the Wisdom Splinter. It had them bantering back and forth with their silly jokes. You even get a holy guacamole from Michelangelo in there. But it starts off with Master Splinter, and that's one of my favorite parts of the series over the years is Master Splinter's, always coming up with his wisdom. It seems less and less now. It seems like Splinter's being made into the doofus dad that you see common in our culture, and I really hope they don't continue to go that direction. I like the stoic, wisdom-filled, heroic Master Splinter. But anyways, so he talks about fear, how if we just let it control us, we can just run into problems that way. So you have to learn to recognize your fear, control it, and make better decisions in the moment that'll best suit you. And obviously that'll come into play later in the comic like it did in the cartoon. So that's exactly what happens. As they're scouring the city on Halloween, they come across Creepy Eddie, and he takes them to the dream world. And in case you didn't know, Creepy Eddie is like the Freddy Krueger of the TMNT, and they even have a little bit of fun with that, because as he brings him in, he starts making jokes and puns like Freddy would, and then this demon attorney shows up. It was like, hey, you better watch out for utilizing so many puns, right? We don't want to get copyrighted or have infringement or anything like that. So it's a little bit of fun like that. And then they have to go down the yellow brick road, and the attorney comes in. He's like, that's in a public domain. So, again, having a little bit of fun with copyrights and trademarks and things like that. Yellow brick road, obviously, Wizard of Oz. Then we got the Freddy Krueger character, the Dreamland, things like that. So anyways, as they go through what it is, he's trying to trap him there and keep him there with him forever. So he says, if you can get to the end of this road and overcome the fears along the way, then you'll be free to go. Unfortunately, maybe that's the case, maybe it's not, we'll see. But the first thing they come across I liked was the pizza zombie. All right. First time I remember seeing him was the pizza episode where the pizza gets into the mutagen in the pizza place, and he becomes alive, and then he starts taking over by selling pizzas that are, I guess, eating people, if I remember correctly. And then at the end, Mikey has to eat him. It's kind of gross, but still fun. So we got the pizza zombie there, and they engage, but they try to escape. They have to go through the sewer, and then they run into another character. And as they're battling this character, they seem to be overwhelmed. They can't really take care of him. Let me show you this like skeleton, skull, ninja, warrior, soul type person. And I remember, see if they give him a name. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways, they got across the bridge, and as they're fighting, he becomes like all alien, like splits apart. I can't remember what movie did that remind me of. Anyways, so they can't beat him, but they recognize that he said if what did they go here? Oh, that's it. Shabano Sama just said if we were worthy ninja, we'd be able to get past him and cross the bridge, right? So they have to figure out a way they got past him, not necessarily have to fight him. And that's who it was. Okay, is that Shabano Sama, the founder of the Foot Clan? And I thought Hamato Koji founded the Foot Clan, so there's a little thing going on there. But anyway, so they end up getting past him. I don't want to ruin it all. And then they come across Irma, who appears to be a damsel in distress, and says someone needs help in that tower. And they're debating, like, because they're in the dream world. They're like, are they really in trouble? Are they not in trouble? Because we're running out of time. So a really good conflict there, right? Should we put off our conscience because we know it's the dream world, or should we go help? And the cool part is they ended up going to help, right? Because it's the turtles, right? And we got that turtle power right there. Turtle power. Awesome. And they run in, and it's April being held down to be Frankensteinized, I guess, if you could say, by Baxter Stockman. And then he gets in, and he's cool because he calls in all of the old horror monsters, from the mummy to the vampire, werewolf, etc. It looks like a fly guy, and actually that's Mitch, Hook Hands Mitch or something like that, and that's from the beginning of the comic, and that's what leads into, because he's part of a horror movie they're watching, and that's what leads into the wisdom of Splinter. And anyway, so they ended up cutting him through, or saving April, taking out the monsters, because they realized, hey, this is a dream world, like we can do dream things, right? So they started changing their weapons a little bit, and kind of having like superpowers. Then they get done, so they save her, and April's like, oh yeah, like in the back of the house is the road, so if you go there, that'll save you hours of travel. So saving her ended up benefiting them. So helping others, which is a good message, it can come out and be favorable to your life. It's just good to put your needs aside sometimes and help other people. At least that's what I took from it. And without knowing it, it'll help us grow as a person, and it'll benefit us. But anyway, so But eventually they get to the road, and that's right, Creepy Eddie's like, you're stuck here. They say, no, it's not 12 yet. And he says the same thing because he said this earlier about somebody. He's like, well, it's 12 somewhere. So you're kind of stuck here. But in that, he starts boasting. And in his boasting, he likes to throw the puns out there, right? So Donnie recognizes that and gets him to pun it up. And then that brings back the attorney. The demon attorney is like, hey, you've done too many puns. And so they defeat him. It reminds me kind of Stephen King, It, where the kids defeat Pennywise by bullying him and making fun of him and that kind of thing. And turn it around on same but different, right? But anyway, so they get him to pun it up. The attorney comes back, says, we told you about that, we warned you, and then he sends him off to somewhere for good. And the Turtles ask the attorney, like, can you guys send us back? And he's like, well, why should I? And he's like, well, that they say that'll make Creepy Eddie really mad. He's good enough for me. And then he sends him right back. He's like, yeah, I'm cool with that. All right. So then they get back, and that's the end. When we end, just like in the cartoon, that was my fun part. They end with one of them throwing a pun in there to close it out. So that's a lot of fun. Nice, fun little story. And then it goes into a story about Shredder and Krang and summoning a past spirit. And again, you can't help but read that and hear the Krang voice, Krang, Shredder, right? That kind of thing. You're like, come on. And then reading Shredder, you hear James Avery's voice in your head. At least I do when you read it. And so it was a lot of fun. And the bantering back and forth was very reminiscent of the cartoon back in the day. So I enjoyed that. But throughout the whole story, Shredder wants to summon this warrior on how to mold this metal. And Krang's like, are you sure? It never works out for you when you summon people from the dead. And Shredder's like, I got this, right? Because, Shredder's ego is off the charts. Always has been. And that's what makes him such a good villain. I think he doesn't care, especially with that revenge. Because at the end of this, he goes, I will get revenge on that spirit. I will find a way. Give me more candles. I'll summon him. But because the spirit comes, throws a few things at him. And then at the end, the spirit kind of mock Shredder and says, I've wasted your time. The candles burn out. I can no longer help you with your metal molding problem because there's no more time left on the candles. So I'm not going to share that with you. I'll see you later. And he disappears, and Shredder's like, gets all mad. So he decides, all right, I'm going to get revenge on him. I'm going to call back. I'm going to get all the candles I can and call him back. And I'm going to hunt this spirit down, just like Shredder. And then again, it ends because Krang's fridge grew legs. The spirit gave it legs, and all his yogurt fell everywhere. And at the end, Shredder, as you say, at the end, he's just like, Shredder, I need you to go get me some new yogurt. Okay? Give me some yogurt. Right? So, 2023, Saturday morning cartoon, TMNT, Halloween comic special. Lots of fun to read. Excited and glad that I picked it up and brought back a lot of memories. So, what did you think about it? What comics are you reading? Are you going to get the last years of The Last Ronin? What do you think about that? As a matter of fact, I'm going to come out with a video for that. Thank you guys for tuning in to TMNT Plus. My name is Master Sean, and we'll see you nerdles in the next video.